So I've had people who have um, fear is control, wanting to have control. So or in this situation, in this um, case, it translates as control. So wanting to know, me wanting to know what happens, what will it be like after awakening, will I disappear, will I somehow vanish or disappear, like poof, into thin air with awakening. People have sometimes have these irrational fears, but always in those cases I've um, made it more rational for them. Irrational, give the medicine of rational. So try to get in very simple ways explain to them that millions of people have had this shift before in the history, and millions will, and many have had this insight, this shift through these instructions, and what I often explain, whether they have this fear or suspicion or not, I explain them that the technique that we use, the two-part formula, is not it's not a daily meditation practice. It's not. It's not meant to, well, I suppose you could, but it's kind of a tool to see into this matter and get done with it. And what it actually means, seeing into it, it means looking at this root cause of confusion, suffering, emotional pain or psychological pain, fear, control, looking directly at the root cause of it and seeing for yourself, what is it? At that point you don't have to worry about what awakening is and what it's like after that. I always say to people that don't waste your time trying to imagine how it will be like after awakening. Don't worry about awakening in the first place. Just look at your own experience and just, study it, investigate it. So that's enough. So kind of, if I understood right your question, if people have this, that's their problem, they're kind of thinking too much ahead. So just giving them simple pointers that, forget that, just stick with what you have now, what you experience now. And it always works, like coming to the present. Did I understand it right? What?
Yeah, that was very helpful. Thank you. Yes, it's people. I agree. I mean, from what I've seen, it's the fear of letting go against the expectation of what it will be like, and of course, it's the imagination, the mind, trying to position itself in the awakened state.
Yeah.
Which of course, doesn't work. So, yeah.
And also, one thing is that whether one likes it or not, we are in these two modes. I would say that most people are anyway in these two modes every day of our lives. But it's just that the eyeless state goes past so quickly that we kind of don't notice it. Or if it's clouded by the substrate consciousness, then it's a different thing. But sometimes it's said that recognize the natural state in between two thoughts. I gave a speech on this a couple of months ago based on Dalai Lama's text. So in very simple terms, it's like that. Notice the space in between two thoughts, and it's there. But yeah, the two modes, of course, for most people, because we don't have culture of mind training, for most people it's something new. It's new to become aware consciously, It sounds ridiculous to say it, but that's the culture we have at the moment. And so yeah, so that might also be helpful in that situation when doing a guidance. It might be helpful to explain that, look, you're experiencing the both modes in your everyday life, or at least sometime on a vacation or on doing some hobby or something that you like, some activities that you like. When you are relaxed, you are mostly in the selfless mode. And while on the other hand, when you are stressed and annoyed, frustrated, angry, then you are in the self mode. So you already experience these two modes, but here we just take a magnifying glass and look at them both to consciously experience them. So that might be helpful also in that situation.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, because then it's not so alien or different for people. So it takes away this fantasy that it's some kind of special state.
Yes.
Whereas if people realise that they actually can access that mode, the so-called awake mode, they can access that as much as awakened people, so-called, can.
Yeah.
Then it brings it to a more reachable, normal state.
Yeah.
That they can access, they can relate to.
Yeah.
So I think that's good.
Yeah. And exactly, it's about well, there is the factor of Oriental or Asian cultures, or Asian or Oriental factors in this whole thing. And I was already, when I started this sentence, I kind of started saying that, this is Dharma teaching for people, for human beings. But when I use the word Dharma, it's a foreign word to us, and to me it feels natural to use it because I understand the meaning of it. But for most people it's a completely foreign word, and it sounds Oriental and so on. So, but really, obviously, what Dharma or mind training is about, it's about understanding our nature as human beings. It's not about having a Tibetan Dharma name, or Japanese this, or Chinese that, or whatever Oriental stuff. So yeah, pragmaticality is important. Pragmatism is important. How would that should be said?
Pragmatism.
Pragmatism is important. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that was a good question.